Welcome to China Today. I'm Li from Guangxi Normal University. In the coming chapter, we will learn about life in China today. Here is the outline of this chapter. In this section, I'm going to introduce to you traditional Chinese clothing. This section covers the following three parts. General situation of traditional Chinese clothing, Cheongsam, a typical symbol of Chinese culture. Hanfu, traditional costume of the Chinese Han nationality. What do you know about traditional Chinese clothing? Here comes the general situation of traditional Chinese clothing. China has different regions and different nationalities as well. Traditional costumes of different regions and nationalities have their own characteristics. For example, the red apron in northern Shanxi, zhuang clothing with blue and black as the main colors, etc. This picture shows colorful clothing and brilliant silver headwear of the Miao people. Chinese civilization went through 5,000 years of ups and downs. The development of Chinese traditional clothing also had a long history. Through the change of time, traditional Chinese clothing of all nationalities formed a big family, which has become an indispensable part of Chinese culture. Now, I'd like to introduce Cheongsam to you. Cheongsam is旗袍in Chinese, which is a typical symbol of Chinese culture. The prototype of Cheongsam is the robes of the Manchu people in the Qing dynasty. But in a modern sense, Cheongsam originated from Shanghai in the 1920s. From the 1920s to the 1940s, Cheongsam had been popular in mainland China for about 20 years. But in other regions around the world, it has always been a traditional costume that Chinese people like to wear. After the 1980s, mainland China ushered in the gradual revival of Cheongsam. Entering the 21st century, as the traditional Chinese culture has gradually revived, Cheongsam has become a daily dress for some people. The predecessor of Cheongsam is the robe of the Manchu people in the Qing dynasty. Because the Manchu people are called Qi people, their robes are called旗袍, meaning the robes of Qi people. The main characteristics of the Manchu robes are wide and straight, with an upright and hard collar. The length is to the feet. The material is mostly satin, and there are many edgings. The outer part of the gown is sometimes matched with a sleeveless vest or a short-sleeved jacket. In the 1920s, starting from Shanghai, the Manchu robes became fashionable, and it has evolved into a Cheongsam in the modern sense, which is called Cheongsam in English, meaning long robe, 长衫 in Chinese. Chinese people still call it 旗袍. The main design elements are the stand collar, Chinese frog closure buttons, and fitted waist. In the 1920s to 40s, modern Cheongsam was popular in mainland China. The 1930s was the golden age of Cheongsam. During this period, the Cheongsam was a symbol of fashion. It was the dress of the cover girl on the calendar and the costume on promotional ads targeting women. In the movie, In the Mood for Love, the heroines, 23 Cheongsam, are elegant, decent, and charming, reflecting the unique charms of Oriental ladies. This movie made so many women dream of wearing Cheongsam. Let's take a look at a video clip from the movie In the Mood for Love, which shows a lady wearing Cheongsam in various styles. After the 1980s, Chinese traditional culture began to heat up, and Cheongsam once again became the fashion sought by women in a new era. Cheongsam reflects some changes at this stage, named Improved Cheongsam. It is a combination of fashion and classic. The elements of the European evening dresses were added to the design of Cheongsam, which revitalized traditional Cheongsam. In the new era, Cheongsam still shows the charms of traditional Chinese culture. It acts as a star's outfit, as a bride's wedding dress, as a Miss Manners uniform, as well as the daily outfits for some people. For a Chinese lady, there can be lots of clothes in her wardrobe, but there is always one indispensable piece of clothing, that is Cheongsam. A Shanghai lady is fond of Cheongsam very much. She said that wearing other clothes was not restrictive, but wearing a Cheongsam would not only restrict your words and deeds, but also your figure. Once you wore it, you would feel full of happiness. Well said! 旗袍 can make ladies look charming, elegant, and confident, thus full of happiness. If you are a lady, is it true that you are eager to put on 旗袍? Following the topic of 旗袍, here comes Hanfu, which is the traditional costume of the Chinese Han nationality. It has a long history of several thousand years. In a word, Hanfu has two systems. One is full-length outfit named Shenyi. The other is composed of an upper garment and a skirt. From the late primitive society to the Shang and Zhou dynasties, the basic pattern of Chinese Han people's dress had been fixed. In summary, the pattern is putting the hair up into a bun, wearing hats according to their status, dressed in an upper garment and a skirt, putting on a belt at waist and a strip covering the abdomen. When putting on Hanfu, people need to follow the etiquettes of Hanfu. Let's look at the picture. When walking and standing, 端拱 ceremony is to be followed. It means holding hands flat on the chest or belly. When greeting someone, gongshou ceremony or yi ceremony is to be followed. When following the hanfu etiquette, the lady's right hand is above or in front. The left hand is below or behind. But to the gentleman, the situation is just the opposite. The postures of hanfu etiquettes reflect the humble and respectful attitudes of the Chinese. Since the year 2000, once again, the popularity of traditional Chinese culture has increased. Against such a background, hanfu is back to people's life. There rises a hanfu movement in the folk. Some middle schools began to guide students wear full-length hanfu for coming-of-age ceremony and apprentice ceremony. Young men and women wear hanfu to participate in the moon worship ceremony, or even hold a hanfu wedding. There was also a rapid increase in online shops selling hanfu or improved hanfu. Although thousands of years have passed, hanfu did not get away from Chinese people's life. Today, it is still playing an important role in transmitting the culture of traditional Chinese clothing. In summary, the costumes of all nationalities blossom in China. They have gradually evolved into a clothing system with the Han clothing as the main body and the multi-ethnic styles in harmony. Dear students, this lecture comes to an end now. See you next time.